What's going on, guys? Gomer's here, and we're back on another MLB The Show video. Now, it is rapidly approaching. We are consistently getting sooner to hopefully at least some announcement regarding MLB The Show 22. This year's came and gone quite fast. Wouldn't you believe it? It's already Christmas. Hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate coming up here. A side note, what is the appropriate dish? Is it ham or turkey for Christmas? I always say turkey for Thanksgiving, ham for Christmas. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh my god, turkey's dry. At the end of the day, a turkey's only as good as the person who's cooking it. Just because your mom can't cook doesn't mean turkey's name has to be besmirched and drugged through the mud. But I'm having ham. Anyway, a lot of people would also argue MLB The Show DD is only as good as the new Legends. So we're going to talk about some new ones that I really hope that we see this year. Some more information regarding that. Leave a like if you guys enjoy, as always. Comment down below, what new Legends do you want to see in MLB The Show 22? Let's get into it. Oh, subscribe if you guys are new. How could I forget? And shout out to these two, MLB20.card art and MLB The Show card art on Instagram. The card art has been brought by them, so thank you to those. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at some of these beautiful cards, starting with Joe Mauer. Now quickly, I do want to emphasize that we are losing some legends this year. First of all, the guys who retired, Buster Posey, which would add reason to why I would love Joe Mauer, another top tier catcher to replace him. Matt Kemp, Ryan Braun, Nick Markakis, Jay Bruce, Chris Davis, not the good, well, I guess C or K, both pretty mid now these days, huh? Joaquin Soria and Wade Davis are the guys who retired, and one could imagine Roberto Alomar, after, you know, all the legal issues he's been having, probably isn't gonna return, one might guess, for MLB The Show 22. But Joe Mauer right here. This card is better than what we saw his best variation for MLB The Show 18, which was the last game he was featured. And you'll notice, is there certainly a bias towards recent players? Yes, I'm sorry, I was not alive in the 80s or the 60s, so I didn't exactly have the same kind of excitement for those guys as I would for somebody like Joe Mauer. Who would be good? Power against lefties would be the only knock against him, otherwise it'd be like a one-sided Adley Rutschman who can only hit against lefties, which isn't a bad thing. Again, I always say the biggest thing with content regarding Diamond Dynasty is this card going to be better than Jimmy Fox? No. So don't release this card in, you know, December. That's how you do content. That's a lot of the time where we see guys like the Grady Sizemore, for example. You know, Fuzzy and a couple other people were excited for that card, and then it was bad when it came out. If it would have came out sooner, people wouldn't have had the same sort of negative reaction. So they just have to consider that more going forward. So Joe Mauer, I think, would be fan-fucking-tastic as a Minnesota boy right here. Jose Reyes, so I really kind of like this Signature Series card art here. I should add, if we, by some act of God, have this same card art for Signature Series and awards next year, somebody needs to be fired over there. I think it looks good, but we can't have the same design for 3 years. Rant over. Jose Reyes, again, we saw him last in MLB The Show 19. Not exactly too long ago, but I loved his cards. He's one of my favorite cards in the game because he had a lot of speed. He's a switch hitter, great swing with good contact. The power is not exactly going to be there. One might argue 71 and 65 is sugarcoating this one to diabetes levels, but hey, the fielding is also going to be pretty good. You know, 88 can get up to diamond at shortstop, just like Jose Reyes. Not the guy, pretty shitty guy actually, but you know, hell of a player. Would be great in Diamond Dynasty, I might add. Ichiro, of course, another player that retired in 19, so we've only had 2 games without him, but it feels like a lot longer, doesn't it? Ichiro, ton of contact, looks a lot like Jose Reyes if he played the outfield and only batted against one hand. 69 and 64, a nice amount of power, good enough to hit some home runs with that beautiful, crisp left-handed swing that he always comes equipped with. I would really be a fan of this card coming back ever since MLB, well, 19. MLB 16, technically. I think he was one of the Conquest you know, Command and Conquer or whatever the hell it is. If you played MLB The Show 16, you did innings to get this card. You know what I'm referring to. Always been a big fan of his cards in DD, so I would love to see him back in a pretty big way for MLB The Show 22. No more Garcia Para. This one I don't see a lot of people talk about, but I think it would be great. He suffered injuries, and unfortunately his career didn't really end up to what it was projecting to be at the beginning. It kind of stalled out at the end, although he still was pretty good, had a couple good years with the Dodgers there. But with the Red Sox towards the beginning, he was great. This year I think he hit like 370 or some wild shit. Contact would be through the roof. Power, I'm not exactly sure. I got a little lazy. I didn't look at his isolated power. Throw me in prison, I suppose. The fielding would be pretty good. He won a couple Gold Gloves, I do believe. Had some high D-WAR and 75 speed. So I think Garcia Para would be great. And we haven't ever had him. And this seems obtainable. I know he's still... I think he used to be on MLB Network. I don't know if he still is. I don't watch MLB Network. But Barry Bonds, this is a pretty big one. Pretty big year for Barry Bonds. Is he going to make the Hall of Fame? Is he going to appear in MLB The Show 22? Two questions that we'll learn in spring. Well, technically, I think it's January 24th, so before spring. We're going to learn pretty soon, damn it. He's going to be great. He would be great if we had him in the game. I don't know how they would manage this card. I always forget how they do it. Because Signature Series used to be accumulating of all their career, but then they changed the rules, and typically signature cards aren't as good as milestones. So you want essentially the hitting from the juiced years and then the speed and the fielding from his non-juiced years. The perfect amalgamation of a card right here would be great for Barry Bonds, and I think it would be certainly one of the best cards. One of the best cards that we have in DD history with that swing as well. ARod, another guy who's in for an interesting year. I don't think he's going to get into the Hall of Fame based off the moronic ballots that we've seen on Twitter so far. Good Lord. Let's stop getting some of these geezers Hall of Fame votes, maybe. But ARod, I would still love him in the game here. And if there's one thing he likes, is money. He could get some money by appearing in the game, so I think it's a match made in heaven right here. He would be fantastic again. I love how he's a shortstop who can play shortstop as a secondary. My bad. He would be great, you know, all the way around like Barry Bonds, but the infield version, high speed, good defense. Remember his Seattle card from MLB The Show 16? Ooh, those were the days. I would really like to see this in some capacity, and he went through a lot of different variations. You know, you could have a card with essentially maxed out power with the Yankees. You can do different stuff with them, which is cool. Tim Lincecum, the freak, would be a freak in this game. I was pretty amazed when going back at his stats and the pitch mix that he also would come with. 120 hit 9. I think this was his second Cy Young season that I took his attributes from. And good Lord, I mean, he's going to be damn near in that 115 to max range, somewhere on that spectrum. The K per 9 is going to be good. His accuracy is going to leave a little to be desired. But the pitch mix is going to be great. I could see this being one of the best pitches that we do have in the game. Roy Halladay, he's kind of like Corbin Burns when I was making it. Sinker cutter combo again. Looks a lot like Corbin Burns. He's going to have really good accuracy, did not walk guys, but he also didn't throw super hard. If I'm going to move my big head here, you'll see that I have him equipped for about 93, 92 in his fastballs, which, again, is a lot like Corbin Burns. Maybe they could juice those up a little bit. We all know DD isn't exactly realistic, so who knows? I would love to see Doc Halladay, rest in peace, return to MLB The Show. I don't think he's... Yeah, we never got him in Diamond Dynasty. He retired before that came to fruition. But that's going to wrap it up. I chose 8 players to talk about. You got baited. Jeter was on the thumbnail, but I didn't talk about him. Oh, no. Maybe in a second video. If you guys leave a like on this video. Very nice transition, Gomer. So, yeah, make sure and do that. Let me know in the comment section who you guys want to see in MLB The Show 22. Again, I'm hoping... Bearman, February 1st, like we got last year's going to be the announcement, so that would be about a month, I'm expecting we're going to hear something, and we'll probably get one of the big legends. I believe we got Clemente, I think. I don't know. We got some big name within like the first week there. So who knows? Maybe it's one of these 8 guys. Maybe the big legend is going to be Joe Mauer. Who knows? That probably wouldn't be the best for marketing, I'm going to say. But again, hope you guys have a great day. Have a great holidays if I don't do a video tomorrow or Christmas, but I might. Because rent is due. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. There goes some Saudi Yeet.